Hello, I'm Marcus Newman, the Eastside Video Editor. Today, Scout Polano, Eastside Community Editor, and I will be learning more about cultural differences and representation within East with the help of some members of East's various culture clubs. We have Mary Phillips and Gabrielle Kennedy, both from the Latinos and Amigos Club, Zandria McKinley from the African American Culture Club, Kelsey Johnson and Mia De Vera, both from the Filipino Culture Society, and Zan Motion representing the Muslim Student Association. So we have a list of questions, guys. We're just gonna run them down, and yeah, you guys could answer however you see best or whoever you see best to answer. So number one, overall, what is the goal of your culture club?
So the goal for MSA is basically to just create a safe environment for all Muslim students where they can feel comforted by other people that are like them and where they can learn to be proud of their religion. We also try to have non-Muslim students join so that they can learn about the religion, just so we can clear misconceptions about Islamophobia and things like that at East.
The overall goal of our Hispanic Heritage Club is to share and embrace other cultures, not just Hispanic, but everybody in the school, and also share with others. We also aim to encourage unity in not only our school, but in our club, and promote inclusivity for all.
All right, thank you guys. So we'll move on to the second question. And that is, as members of your club, what steps do you take in order to accomplish these goals of your club?
I feel as though to like accomplish these goals that we should be like doing our research, because I don't really know every single thing about my culture, but I think that it's important in order to do our research to learn more and also to branch out to others and just to really get out there.
So one of our goals as the African American Culture Club is to bring together Black students and non-Black students to learn about Black history and Black culture and ultimately also have fun. So our club has events like a history show where it's like a fun show that students put on and they can learn about their culture and teach the community about their culture. And then we also have a cook-in where we have like cultural foods and dances. But then we also had a march in June that was more on a serious note about educating people and just bringing awareness to certain social issues.
Our club, for accomplishing the goal, a lot of times we organize activities to bring people in our school and our community together. We host Noche Latina a lot of the time, and movie nights that everyone is welcome to join to educate people about our culture. And a lot of the times, all of the times, they're open to everyone, so everybody gets a little bit of everything.
Branching off of Kelsey, we also like to, when we have our meetings, we like to share our histories and our culture with each other, because since the Philippines is such a big place, we all come from different places. So we like sharing our history and everything like about ourselves. And we also like sharing it with other people because we like having like our friends in it, and like sometimes we find out that we're like for family. And like yeah, that's how we've become more united in a sense.
So obviously, things are very strange right now because we're in a global pandemic. Nobody's in school or really anywhere. So what steps do you take to keep your club active and involved while we're in this time of uncertainty?
So as president of Filipino Culture Society, I make it important to make sure that we have meetings and reminds, Google Classrooms, Instagram, in order to reach out to everyone so that way they know what's going on.
Yeah, similar to what Kelsey said for MSA, I tried to make a Google Classroom and a remind and everything to make it easier for everyone to like get access to information and things like that. And since usually we have community service events that we do pretty much every month, but it's because of COVID we can't do that anymore. So instead, we decided to start like a book club within MSA where we kind of just discuss like articles or books that relate to our faith, just to keep people like connected and just so people can get to know each other.
The AACC, we have meetings. So we've had 2 meetings so far this year, and tomorrow we are doing a holiday movie night as a club just to do something fun. It's like on Zoom, so we're just trying to do something.
For us, we have, like same with other clubs, we have like regular check-ins and like regular meetings with its members. And since it is the holidays, we did have a toy drive where anybody could have donated toys to the school, like not at the, like at the school. And then we took them to the, I believe it's the Louita Development Learning Center in Pennsauken, where we donated the toys for the kids there.
All right, and going off of Marcus's last question regarding COVID, like I know COVID got in the way of Multicultural Day 2020. So did you feel like greatly defeated that you weren't able to like perform in front of everyone at school? Like, what are your feelings like regarding missing Multicultural Day in the spring?
So me and my club personally, we worked really hard on our dance and like we had so much planned. So obviously like we're upset about it, but we're glad that it's probably going to happen this year and we have a lot planned and we're all looking forward to it.
For our club, we would say a little bit of yes and no because a lot like Mia said, we did prepare a lot and we did use it as a way to connect as club members and as a community. This year, we think that there's a lot of opportunity to progress as a club as well, and definitely with the toy drive and however we decide to do Multicultural Day this year, whether it's through videos or meeting in small groups, we think that we still have room for success.
And then for all of your plans that were initially for 2020, like will they carry through this upcoming Multicultural Day?
To go off of what
that we had for 2020, we will continue for 2021. There was a lot of things that we want to do and incorporate into MCD last year, so I plan on like leading that into this year and making sure that we get everyone's opinions on what they want to do from last year into this year.
And for us, we are using some of the same choreography from last time, but like putting it to more recent songs that fit the theme of this year. So we are kind of keeping last year's, but also bringing in something new, whether we're doing it all together or we're going to videotape it and then put it together that way.
MSA doesn't really have a dance for their club, obviously, since we're a religions club, but we are going to try to continue our ideas for our booth from last year because we usually do try to make it very well known and everything. Like in the past, I know in my freshman year, it was probably one of the most successful years for MSA in their booth, and we were trying to carry on that tradition for last year, but now we're going to try to do that this year.
As far as the African American Culture Club, we had a lot of high intensity dances last year, but we might like change up the songs that they were to change them more towards this theme and to more like relevant songs. And as far as our booth goes, we have like food typically, which is how we show our culture, and then we also do hair braiding. But this year, due to COVID, whether or not like MCD is virtual or in person, we probably won't be able to do things like hair braiding or possibly food. But we're definitely going to find different ways to incorporate our culture and share them with the school.
So as of now, it's unclear what Multicultural Day will look like this year. Is that correct?
As far as I know from the meetings, sorry, Mia. As far as I know from the meetings that I've joined concerning MCD, they've said that we're going to try and have MCD this year as they're planning, but they really say it's up in the air and that they're unsure.
But yeah, like Kelsey said, we did attend many meetings, and regardless of whether it's on like a video or it's in person, we're still going to have and we're still going to celebrate our cultures together.
So moving away from Multicultural Day a bit, do you guys feel like your culture or religion is like represented well within the school? And do you think your club does a part to make it feel represented?
I would say yes. We do feel our colors represented because we make sure that we're known. Like we make sure that we have announcements. We make sure that we're telling our club members to spread the word to their friends and their friends who might not be Hispanic or Latino, but still want to come and join and have a good time because, like every other club, ours is open to everyone.
So yes, we don't have that many members, but I think we do represent ourselves throughout the school because we share culture with other people, and like our culture is known for being like really outgoing people and really open. So we do that, and yeah.
Just like what Mia said, our club has always been very small due to there not being many Filipinos. However, we have made the effort to try and get people who aren't even Filipino to join our club. And like what she said, many people do know like about our culture and how.
So anybody can join any club then?
Yes, when we held our first meeting, we like put on our flyer that everyone is welcome, and we encourage people to bring their friends of different culture just to come out and like learn and just hang out and have a good time.
I like that. So moving on to a more sensitive topic. Why do you guys think racism is such a big problem in our country? And also, have you or your clubs ever been like targeted as victims of racism?
Well, I think racism is basically just due to like ignorance and just a lack of education on everyone's cultures, and that's what MSA tries to do. We try to educate everyone on what Islam really is, because it can be hard to like move aside your biases to accept everyone.
I'm gonna agree with Zan on that one because my club back in June we had a march on like Juneteenth, and I'm gonna quote like the speech that I gave. I gave the introduction speech, and I say that it is evidence that much of the ignorance in this world stems from lack of understanding and knowledge. And we chose to have our protest at the library because like that's a place of learning, and we really just wanted to educate people on issues going on in the world. And we feel as though that if we can get to know each other better and understand each other, and not be ignorant to other people's like cultures and races and religion, that we can come together more, and a lot of the hate in the world will like sort of die out if we can just understand each other.
I definitely agree with Zan and Sandria about how we need to make an emphasis for people to start learning about our cultures and just overall trying not to be so blindsided to it.
So, in regards to how people should like deal with racism, are you just suggesting like more education needs to be like promoted in our country?
Yeah, I think that people need to be more educated about like these cultures and like their actual history, because it all like the racism stems from like the lack of understanding and lack of like the things that people know and what people have been going through.
Yes, and so thanks to the march that my club held in June, there's being a push for hopefully by next September, it'll be mandatory for everyone who goes to the Cherry Hill School District to take an African American Studies course, and that will go into effect hopefully September of 2021. And also along with that, they're introducing a social justice course as an elective for all Cherry Hill High School students. And right now they're in the works, like meeting with college professors and like organizing the curriculum. And in the social justice courses, we will talk about like religious discrimination and like race discrimination and all sorts of things. And I think that this will be good because our school district is one of the first school districts actually in the country to take these steps towards change. And I think that we're going to have a positive influence on the world. And I think that I would definitely like recommend talking about these things. And if you have anything that you want to see in these courses, like definitely reach out to people like Dr. Malash, because I think that everyone deserves to be seen through these courses and that everyone has a voice.
So the most prominent instances of racism probably over the last century have been aimed towards the African American culture. And with the Black Lives Matter movement recently drawing a lot of attention to it, do you think the correct steps are being taken to end the practice once and for all?
This is sort of a big question. I think a lot of people are educating themselves and becoming more aware. And I think that that's good. And I would like to thank like Dr. Malash and a lot of the people in our town, because I've been noticing in our town specifically, like people are working really hard to make it an anti-racist town that's like welcome to everybody. And I'm really happy to see like the positive work that is going into the Black Lives Matter movement and like the changes that are being made. I think there's a lot more that we still need to do, but I think that this is a good step. And I also think that even though the Black Lives Matter movement has been on like the forefront, I think that a lot of races and religions experience discrimination as well. And I think that we need to draw attention to all of it.
Absolutely.
And regarding other clubs and racism, increasing awareness and combating racism, do you think there are any other steps that should be taken to do this?
Like any specific ideas?
I think that people need to continue to educate not only in school, which we have had the opportunity to do, as Andrea says, but I think that it also starts at home and people talking to their friends about it and how they feel about it, and educating people around them who may not understand or have had that education. I think that's important, to have people see it from every point of view and to understand that it's a sensitive thing and you have to be aware of people's feelings. And so I think that it really does. It's something that should not only be talked about in school, but at home, and you should really bring awareness to the topic.
Like I've
I
always,
agree with.
oh, sorry.
Danielle, you can go.
Okay, so like I've always brushed off racist things that have been said to me or like my friends, but I really don't think that I should do that or other people should do that. Like there should be more of a reaction, and like people should be like talking about it more and why it's not right.
I agree with what Mia said. I think like it's just a really big thing for a lot of like minority cultures to deal with, is that like they face racism or something and they don't even realize it, and then they kind of just brush it off. So I think it's important to like inform people in your own club who are minorities that it's okay to like speak up for what you think is right. And in addition to that, with what Zandria said, I think we are taking the right steps in trying to stop this. I know MSA is working with the board to try to get some type of required book or something that can help clear misconceptions about Islam added into like our English curriculum or something.
And
I
to
definitely
piggyback
feel-
off of Zan, like our club, sorry, Kelsey. Our club is doing the same thing. Like we're having, we are also working with the board to bring not just Hispanic and Latino books, but books from every culture, not just like one specific one, like from everywhere, so we can get everybody's ideas and point of view, so we can finally get to the actual problem, like get down to it and figure out how to go from there.
I definitely feel like just overall having discussion and just talking about these topics, because they are very sensitive topics, and because of that, I feel like people don't really talk about it as much. Like we try and keep it like very hush and overall don't talk about it. So I feel like yes, it is uncomfortable, but it definitely is something that we need to talk about.
Definitely. And Marcus, you can go.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, definitely, I think not only East, but everyone needs to be educated and needs to recognize racism. And I think all of these steps that you guys are suggesting are perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. This interview has been enlightening, and I'm glad you guys could all come out to share your culture and experiences with us. And I hope that in the future, and I hope that as soon as this video goes up on YouTube later today, people will start to take other cultures and religions into consideration, as you guys all said that they should. So thank you guys for coming out.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.